Hey, it's Dan, and I'm here for a super secret conversation about Chris Morocco. Once again, we're gonna put Chris's super tasting abilities to the test. This is Frida Kahlo's Oaxacan black mole. We're challenging Chris to replicate this exact dish with every ingredient in just one day. He'll be able to taste, touch, and smell it, but at no point will he be allowed to see this dish. At the end of the day, we'll come back and taste this final creation, and I'll be the judge.
All right, here we go. Oh, like barbecue sauce, but with like star anise. Wow, okay. There's just so much sauce here. I'm getting like really strong chili component, but then there's like a fruitiness, a sweetness, and a tomatoiness. I think there's a strong dried herb element in there. It's like a dried oregano. There could be some black pepper in there too. Underneath there's like a very firm something. Oh, okay. We have a chicken leg, and I just want to separate out some of these elements to see if I missed anything on this plate. I mean, the sauce itself is just wildly complex. Oh, it's really good. It's giving me like a little bit of like cocoa, nuts, seed, and it's like my worst nightmare of there being so many different subtle flavors all piled up. Let's set that nightmare aside and let's move over to the chicken. It's a little bit firmer than I'm expecting. It's pretty like neutral and chickeny. It's not really giving me much at all. The knee bone doesn't really want to flex that much. It feels like the chicken was kind of just sort of straight up roasted with the sauce ladled over it. To me, this feels like extremely classic Mexican cooking. Mole is just an archetypal dish. They're known for having a lot of ingredients. This is pretty much a worst case scenario. Dear Diary. So I'm thinking for nut, it's peanut almond. Seed-wise, pepitas, sesame seeds. I think there is a dried chili element. I think ancho, pasilla, chipotle. I need like all of those chilies to kind of work together. I could put cocoa powder, and then for protein, chicken leg quarters. I've got 25 things on this list. Given my track record of being like a solid B2C student, we could be looking at a 40 ingredient dish here, no problem. So somebody's gonna shop for these ingredients and bring them back, and I'll have my first shot. Okay, so ingredients are here. There's so many things. It's a little bit head spinning to see it all laid out like this. Why don't we toast off some chilies and get them rehydrating? Toast off nuts, seeds, spices, sweated out aromatics. Tomato will be one of the last things that goes in. Rehydrated chilies need to be pureed, added to the sauce at some point, and bring it all together. And not least of all is our friend, Mr. Chicken. We may just throw this one in the oven. Where we're gonna start is pick a nice mix of dried chilies, pasilla, morita, ancho, guajillo. The seeds get a little bit bitter. You gotta get all that plus the stem out of there. Pasilla is gonna give me some of the leathery notes. Morita is gonna give me smokiness and heat. Ancho is gonna give me fruitiness and kind of like medium complexity. And guajillo is gonna kind of give me bulk without a ton of heat. I'm toasting the chilies, deepens their flavor a little bit. You see them kind of like changing shape a little bit as they heat up. But I'm just thinking like a number of things feel like they need to be toasted off here, and why not the chilies as well? If you were to blend them up right now, they would stay in distinct pieces, kind of like chili flakes added to a dressing. But instead, we're hydrating them so that when we puree them, they turn into a relatively smooth sauce. Next step, let's think about toasting some nuts. You know, toasting in a skillet, you do it because it's faster. I'm trying to push this process along just because we have so many ingredients to get through. And then let's move on to sesame seeds. I felt the texture of seeds, and I feel like the body of the sauce was blitzed out nuts and seeds.
How's the actual recipe going?
Recipe is fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, recipe's fine.
Really high when you said that.
Yeah, no, I hit a falsetto. Dan's shoot got canceled in India, so now he's just like around, like kind of just like a bitter teenager whose like house party kind of fell through. All right, so pepitas, more commonly or less commonly known as pumpkin seeds. So coriander and cumin seeds. Coriander adds like a real citrusy note. Cumin is just like earthiness. If the chicken is cooked on the stovetop and cooked some amount of the way in the sauce, but a sauce with that level of viscosity to it is gonna wanna stick and burn. Whereas throwing it into the oven is a little bit random, but maybe appropriate. It's going in at 425. I think like when in doubt, go with like white onion, especially for Mexican cuisine. This is gonna be for the aromatic base of the sauce. All right, just gonna let that go for a minute while I chop up some garlic. Onion and garlic make the world go around. I'm gonna grind up some of these spices. So I'm gonna use roughly half, and I'm just gonna grind them up. So that's the cumin and coriander. This is dried Mexican oregano. Do I wanna add the cocoa powder now? Maybe, right? I feel like that is probably the most common form of like chocolate added to a mole. So this is traditional passata, just a concentrated tomato puree. The tomato is gonna help bring up some of the acidity. There's also like a sensation of kind of tomatoiness, like a really soft form of acid. I want it to be really cooked out till the fat is practically separating. It tastes good. Even the cocoa, it's like very integrated in there. I think this aromatic base is kind of ready to go. So there are chilies. You can see the liquid that's coming off of them, just like how dark it is. If you're looking for hydration in your ultimate recipe, it's certainly better than water. It's like giving you some of that liquid essence of the chili peppers. I've got some chicken broth. So I'm gonna do ready to go roasted peanut, which just had way superior flavor and texture versus the raw peanut that we tried to kind of rough and ready in the hot skillet. It's like tastes like nothing. It tastes like earwax. So anyway, I've got a couple tablespoons of toasted pepitas, toasted sesame seeds as well. Let's these things up a little bit before I introduce the chili, just so we can start the pureeing process. There's a little bit of texture. Just that little amount of chili rehydrating liquid is giving us some heat. And then the peanut just provides just like that grounding overall kind of savory depth. And what peaks out up above is the toasted sesame and pepita. So I want to add all of these chilies. You only live once, right? Let's see where we get just pureeing this now. So obviously massive transformation, right? It's now in this kind of like brick red world. It's a little intense, and there's not even like any salt in there, which is not great. But we also don't have any of our cooked out aromatic base here. A lot of our sources of sweetness, our herbs, our spices is gonna round out that chili mixture. I'm gonna retaste the sauce now that it's got the aromatic base in it. It's like we're a long way off, guys. It's too hot, it's too bright. We need more cocoa powder. I'm gonna throw some sugar in here. Just not getting like the sweetness. I think we're just missing a little bit more pepita and sesame and even peanut as well. The more I put cocoa with the sugar and the more salt in there, it just keeps pulling the flavor down and down, deeper, richer, in a good way. I'm a little shaky on the relationship between the chicken and the sauce in the original dish. I can imagine like chicken braised in mole, which was not what I experienced. We have this like slightly bright sauce, right? Technique that I've seen, but I've never personally attempted before is called scalding a sauce. So like basically like you heat a new pot of oil and you put your puree into that pot as a way of deepening and melding the flavors. Whoa. Danger. Anyway, I think that's enough like innovation for the day. I'm thinking it's chicken with the sauce on top and then nothing else. This is my first attempt at chicken mole. I mean, it's like, look, there's an honesty to it, right? Scores. Ingredients, 50. Technique, 50. Appearance, 65 And taste, I mean, I'll give this like a 60. It's bringing me more to like spicy peanut sauce. It's in the same universe, but I think I could have done better. All right, here are my actual scores. Fascinating. I mean, this is honestly like significantly better than I expected. As much as I want to sit here and expound, why don't we just taste the original dish again and then have a conversation about it? Heavy is the head that wears the mask, you know? All right, here we go. Gosh, it's a sweetness. This is just a sweeter, cleaner flavor. And I'm really getting pops of sesame seed in there. Compared to what peanut did in my version, it's staying very faint. The peanut could come out entirely. I wonder if we can take the pepita out as well. This question of like warm spices, I don't know, there could be cinnamon in the spice mixture, or you could be using like Mexican chocolate, which would have cinnamon in it. It's so aromatic, but I feel like I'm missing it. So brightness, I am wondering about a blistered tomato in there, maybe the onion as well. I mean, certainly a technique that I see elsewhere in Mexican cuisine. I don't know. There's still like this question of like the interplay between the chicken and the sauce. Like this chicken is really firm. A lot of like unrendered fat under the skin. It's not like braisy, shreddy. You know, it's kind of driving me crazy. I have some meaningful thoughts. I don't know that it's like gonna quite get me there, but I think I'm good. Here are my ingredients for this round. The main addition here is, instead of cocoa powder, Mexican hot chocolate, right? Which has got, cinnamon's not listed, but it says artificial flavor, and God, I hope there's cinnamon in there. Only Abuelita knows what's actually in there. I'm gonna try a different technique in terms of building the sauce. Blistering some tomatoes, quartered onion, whole cloves of garlic in their skin, a little coating of oil on these, just to try to get more depth on them and see if we can get some real nice char. Going to all pasilla and ancho. I just worry that the morita just get real hot. So I'm hoping we can pull the flavor down. I don't think I'm gonna toast them this time. I'm just getting them rehydrated. So we are toasting sesame seeds. It really develops so much more character. This is cumin, coriander, and black pepper. Veg are done. I'm gonna transfer them to the blender. I'm gonna throw the chicken on that sheet tray, and I'm just gonna broil it. So I can throw some of these cloves of garlic in there. Chilies are going in here. I need to get some of our spices in, as well as our oregano, sesame seeds. Still a little on the spicy side, to be honest. Wouldn't suck to have a little bit more liquid here. Flavors are a little jangly, a little hot. Some sugar will definitely be appreciated here. I just need to get this hot where I can whisk some chocolate into it. Hershey's cocoa powder, it's not super chocolatey. I don't hate this consistency. I like the way it's kind of piling up. So I'm adding the whole sesame seeds now. Let's see where we're at. Honestly, it's unbelievable like what a difference that solid Mexican chocolate makes. I don't feel anything about this chicken. I do feel something about this sauce. I love it. This is my second attempt at the dish. I think we got a little bit closer, and that's what this is all about. Ingredients, God, I'd love to be at a 70. Technique, we changed a lot. I'm gonna go with 70 again. Appearance, we were at a 90 before. Wow, I'm gonna just like stick with 90. And taste, I guess we'll find out. I would love to believe that I got to an 80. Very different feel to this. Very different composition of the sauce. I think I'm ready to present this to the judge and find out what I actually got. Why is Dan moving over into the
what's happening?
Judge's position?
Come on, Chris.
It's
been me the whole time.
Stop. It has
been me the whole time, and you just didn't realize it.
This is a freight train headed in one direction.
Chris, may I present to you Frida Kahlo's Oaxacan black mole.
Was that f***ing turkey?
This is not a giant turkey, but a turkey nonetheless, which is something that's common in Oaxacan cooking.
I totally misjudged the size. That's so crazy.
What are we looking at here? I mean...
Well, yeah, okay.
Would you like find the smallest chicken you could get and put it in here? Apparently this was the dish that was served at Frida's wedding. We'll give Frida credit for this one, though she probably didn't make it herself. But how did you prepare your turkey? Sorry,
well,
chicken.
I prepared my turkey using chicken.
Yeah.
I just threw the chicken under the broiler.
Okay. The whole turkey, which we broke down into parts, goes into a pot of water along with some aromatics and basically spends its entire time cooking in there.
I mean, it's just waffling in the middle of like cooked, but not fully tender, surprisingly kind of bland, whereas like the sauce is like the event.
We had a blend of 3 chilies in this dish, the Cascabel, Mulatto, and Pasilla chili. Okay, what did you do to these chilies?
I stemmed and seeded the chilies and then rehydrated them in hot water.
Okay, so the chilies are toasted.
I toasted them dry when I toasted them.
Okay.
Did she toast in oil?
Big ingredient drop here, lard. Lard is all over this recipe. Again, we have aromatic vegetables going into that lard, and then the tomatillos are added raw,
Okay.
obviously.
I roasted my tomato, onion, and garlic just for what it's worth.
Oh, great. That's good for a few points. So then I think you broke this recipe down a little more than it needed to. What happens? Put the knife down, Chris. One other thing about the texture of your sauce that's probably been driving you a little bit crazy. A big part of the thickening agent is the addition of sort of like a stale tortilla in addition to bread that is put into this. One of the other categories of spice, I'll say, if we're just looking up at our ingredients here and doing a quick like XXXXX, which we might be doing right now.
No, there's not room because there's 2 of us
Here,
in frame.
I'll move over.
There's 2 of
and
us
then
in
we can have
frame,
our
so
box.
there isn't room.
Can we get the X's?
There's not room.
Can we get a sound effect for the X's?
Graphic person, there's just not room.
Okay, let's give these a taste. It's honestly incredible you got anything out of that. It tastes like 1,000 things at once.
Yeah.
Let's try a bite of yours.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, I like yours better. That's not what we're here
No.
for. Big hit to the face here. I
Yeah,
feel like-
mine's like keyed up.
Yeah.
It's like
every
it's,
spice is turned up.
boom, boom,
The
boom.
heat is turned up. Everything that's in there kind of comes through. Report card. Ingredients. You gave yourself a 70. This one's gonna hurt a little bit. I'm gonna give you a 57. Don't panic.
Oh,
That one is in the low range. Going by
it's
what was missed
warranted.
here.
It's well earned,
I know.
but still.
I can't have the commenters looking at all the things and then being like he was too generous. They
Oh,
say.
God forbid that
commenters.
people think you're nice.
Moving on to technique. You gave yourself a 70. We'll give you a 70 also. The cooking of the meat, the toasting in the lard. We'll give you a 70 on
fair.
that. Appearance, you gave yourself a 90. We're gonna give you a 92. Really, the big difference is just being like size and the seeds on top. And lastly, taste, you gave yourself an 80. I'm gonna give you a 75.
Yeah, that's fair.
They were pretty substantially different, but it's fucking delicious. I would sit down and eat this for dinner anytime. Overall, that takes you to a 74. That's a solid C.
Yes.
I think you walk away saying, hey, I learned a lot.
Mole is hard.
You did really great. This was virtually impossible. I love you. I'm going to catch a train.
Thank you
Bye.
so much for covering. Honestly, I feel fine. You know, there's a lot going on in there. A lot of new information, a lot of new techniques in there for me. The fact of it being Frida Kahlo's recipe just adds to the mystique and the seemingly, you know, kind of randomness of it. But that's okay, you know, it's like, it's her POV, and I certainly learned a lot from going through the exercise. I have to run for my train though.
Look what I did so I can see it whenever I want. There's you.
Dan, I'll never wear
Loyal
that
follower
sweatshirt.
of Guru.
I will never wear that sweatshirt at work again. I hope you're happy. And you dictated my choice of all black
great.
today.